For all the beauty of the Stanton system, one of the greatest things that is lacking in Star Citizen as of right now is increased server population and persistence between patches. And for many, this is a big turnoff, making them not want to get into Star Citizen until those features exist. And I can understand that. Hey guys, I'm Morphologist, and in this video, we're going to talk about how persistence between patches and increased server population may be happening sooner than you think. Oh, and if you stick around until the end, I'll let you guys know how you can win a free mole plus a starter package for Star Citizen to get you into the game today. It's a pretty cool ship, and you'll probably want to find out how you can have a chance at it. And if you think I deserve it by the end of this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It really helps me and the channel out. For me, the best experiences I've ever had in MMOs have not been the missions or the storylines, but instead have been the unexpected encounters with people who then become lifelong friends. This is an experience I can say that I've had in Star Citizen, but as they've added more planets, more moons, and places to explore, they've not increased the server cap and thus spread out the player base so thin that the chance encounter has become progressively less and less likely, to the point where you could fly around conceivably for several hours and not see a single human being. And that's kind of concerning, and it certainly doesn't make the universe feel alive. So then, technologies like server-side OCS and client-side OCS, which have enabled great frame rates and lots of stuff to explore in Star Citizen, are great. What we're now looking forward to is the next step, an increase in players per server. Now, you may have missed it, but they did actually talk about this at CitizenCon, as well as in a video called Pillar Talk posted on Star Citizen's official channel, where the head devs sat down to have a chat. There, Chris Roberts, the head of CIG, asked this question about server-side OCS.
Will this allow us to increase the player count in the short term? We have server OCS. Can we have more players? In one server, that is.
In theory, it definitely should. I think we're at the point now to where we haven't yet done sufficient testing that we would basically want to definitively say one way or the other. That's certainly what we're thinking we're going to want to be. We're certainly going to be doing tests and seeing how far we can push it. It is possible.
And it seems, guys, that that's exactly where we are today. They are testing, as we speak, in the P2U, a 60-player cap server. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's only because it's the first step. Afterward, they'll likely test 70. Then 80, then 90, and all the way up until it crashes and is no longer playable. Does that mean that they're going to be adding even more players into the next patch? Not necessarily. It depends on how the testing is going. CIG, in response to a lot of people being very interested in this, have said that this is purely right now for stress testing, but as Tony alluded to in that video, it is something that they're looking to do, and that's really exciting news if you like Star Citizen. Now, it's not going to be a massive increase in the end. I don't expect them to get much past maybe even 100 players in the end with a single server shard. That's something that's going to have to be increased through server meshing, which is the next step after server-side OCS. But even that increase for a single system, I think, is going to make the experience of Star Citizen a lot better. Those chance encounters with friends and foes will happen more frequently. And while, yes, it may sometimes result in being trolled, I think more often than not you're going to find yourself having a positive experience. It's my experience with the community of Star Citizen that people are more friendly than not, as opposed to what you might encounter in, say, on EVE Online. So, don't worry too much, and if you really are wanting to be a bit more safe, get yourself a good organization like Armco, the one that I belong to that you can find in the description below. Yes, shameless self-promotion, I know. I think it's about time that we got that increase. The last time I remember it changing was after 2.6. We had, I think, 18 or 19 players per server, or it might have been 24. I might be mistaken, but it was definitely less than half of what we have now, which is 50. And that difference was pretty massive. One other thing that leads me to believe that this is likely the case, that they are looking to increase the server sizes, is that they are getting very close to being able to add another system. In fact, Chris Roberts said this year at CitizenCon, that's the big event that happens every year for the game, that they are looking to add Pyro this year. That's a new star system, and that's a whole nother increase in potential area that we can explore, further spreading out the small 50-player population, if it's going to be that way when the new system releases. But that's all well and good. Having more players is a lot of fun, but what about being able to keep what you earn between patches? Well, that's actually something that is supposed to be in 3.8, but might not necessarily be fully operational yet. I'll explain in the next part of this video. So persistence has been long-standing one of the biggest issues with Star Citizen for many. Not being able to keep your ships and money between patches makes people a little bit angry. That's because after 3 months or less of hard work, all of that stuff gets wiped. Now, while this might seem like a really shady thing to do, it's unfortunately necessary in the development process as they are continually updating the code and changing the way you earn money in Star Citizen, and therefore it would be unfair to allow people who have exploited the game, or perhaps people who had a bug and lost everything, to have to continue having nothing or having way too much money. That is going to be something that changes in the near future once things become a bit more stable and they're able to have a code that they don't need to change too often. And that seems to be something that might be happening as soon as now in 3.8.
We're going to have a more enhanced version of persistence in 3.8 than we previously have. So if you buy things or rent things or do stuff with in-game money that you've earned, and the in-game money you earn will have the ability to persist it between patches even from 3.8 onwards.
Now before you guys go freaking out and being all happy because it's in Star Citizen, it's not actually necessarily going to really work for the next patch. You see, they haven't really made a big deal out of this in the patch notes. In fact, it's not mentioned anywhere, and there's a reason for this. I imagine that they are looking to test this before they really tell people that persistence is in, because it's a huge deal for many people who play the game, and it has been a deal maker or deal breaker for people looking to back. So if, say, a bunch of people back the game, seeing that persistence is finally in, and then they had to wipe the next patch, people would be understandably really angry. Star Citizen and CIG don't really have a whole lot of capital right now when it comes to good faith because of all the bad press that's come out. Sure, us backers know a lot more about the project and are a lot more understanding, but that's not necessarily true for the vast majority of people who follow Star Citizen. And so I think it's a good PR move to wait to make sure that they're sure and to test it on the down low. So good news, I think we will be seeing it very, very soon, and maybe even by the next patch, meaning that what we earn here in 3.8 might be able to cross over into 3.9, but don't quote me on that, guys. It is in testing, but thankfully that is kind of the great thing about it. They're testing it, and hopefully what we buy here will be able to go over into the next patch. Hopefully. Now, counter to what many of you might think, I actually believe that this would be hugely beneficial to the success of Star Citizen to have persistence in this early. Because the issue is that once people know that a new patch is coming, they have far less interest in sticking around to earn and to actually play and experience the game as you would in a finished product. Who cares about doing missions? Who cares about mining when you know that in the next few days it's just going to be gone? I think it's going to make the community a lot better and more consistent for longer periods of time. And yes, they're still going to have to wipe now or later because of eventual bugs that are going to happen. It's inevitable, but at least we'll have more confidence that what we earn today is going to stick around for a lot longer. Aside from content and space to explore, player cap and persistence remain to be some of the last biggest pillars left to develop in Star Citizen, and they are really big deals. They're what's going to make Star Citizen a true MMO. and I really am excited to see this finally making its way to our own hands in a testable form. So it does indeed look like this year, 2020, is shaping up to be a pretty exciting one. Oh, we're at the end of the video. You guys want to know how you can win this ship in the background, don't you? Well, if you want to win this multi-operator laser extractor, this big mining ship new to 3.8, then first of all, you got to be subscribed. Of course, I mean, I got to show for myself. But the other thing you got to do is let me know down below in 3 sentences or less the best experience you've had in Star Citizen, or if you don't own Star Citizen, because of course this is open to new players as well, tell me about the experience you're looking forward most to having in a fully realized universe. The one that stands out to me the most, that I find to be the most interesting or creative, will win it, and I do reserve this for my own opinion. So if you do upvote something because you guys really like it, I won't necessarily pick it. Deadline shall be 1 week from the posting of this video. So the best of luck to all participants. Thank you guys so much for following the channel. You've gotten me to 100K. I wouldn't be here without your amazing support. And so, if you want to see more content like this, you guys know what to do. And as always, I hope to see you guys next time.